What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here. Welcome to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And for today's video, sorry I'm a day or two late on this one, we're going to be talking about Teen Titans issue number 27. Now I only got a few minutes because I got to head to work, so we're going to talk about this really quickly. So yes, Teen Titans issue number 27. You guys can go check out my reviews of the previous issues, like the annual and so on and so forth. But yes, this issue is the aftermath of it. I believe it's called Let It All Out. So the whole thing in this issue, let's go ahead and run down the brief summation of it. According to the, solicitation here. Every Teen Titan has a secret, and they all come spilling out here, as Djinn helps Robin recover from his injuries after a brutal showdown with Red Hood. She tells him all about her dark past, revealing some unsettling truths about herself. Meanwhile, Red Arrow helps Crush find a new sense of purpose, and Roundhouse reviews the tragic backstory of how he got his powers. Okay, part of this is very misleading. We don't actually find out exactly how he got his powers. He just talks about like how his sister died when he got his powers, so we don't know the full truth of how he got his powers. In terms of Crush and Red Arrow, it's not much really. Crush is kind of just angry and jealous that Djinn is going to see Robin after you remember the end of the last issue, because this whole run has really been about secrets, love squares, if you want to call it that, because you got Red Arrow, Robin, Djinn, and Crush all one big as the Flintstones would put it, one, continuous square or circle, if you want to put it. But yeah, so, and they definitely, continue on that a lot more in this issue, especially towards the end of it. So, what I appreciate about this issue, first off, is it's a breather. It's not going against the end of the world. It's not finding so-and-so here. It's actually a bit of downtime. You got to let the characters breathe every once in a while. That was one of the genius factors of the Tomasi Superman Rebirth run, was I could read every issue and I wouldn't have to have fighting because the writing was so good, and I honestly just wanted to see them kind of be a family. I kind of wish this book would have a bit more, fun, because I feel like, it's Teen Titans. They should be having a bit of fun when they're being superheroes. Here, they're all so angry and they got, all their internal problems, which, it's fine to delve into that, but there should be some, downtime here and there. And that's one thing I do appreciate about this. There's a little bit of downtime, but I do feel like this team isn't really gelling fully as a unit per se. They're all kind of have their own secrets. They're all don't really seem happy to be there. They all feel like they're just kind of there. And that's one of my issues with it so far. They're not fully gelling yet as a unit. I don't feel like the connection with them as a whole just yet. Because Robin's, then when they start to act as a team, Robin's somewhere, or when so-and-so is here, someone else is somewhere. I just kind of hoping for this team to build on themselves. And based on what I've looked at for the solicitations for the May issues, because they got a big crossover coming up right after this, which is called the Terminus Agenda or something like that, where they're going to go toe-to-toe with Deathstroke. So, yes, so let's go ahead and look at the issue. The issue begins, oh, by the way, this cover art for Detective 1000. Also, I want you to focus in on Damien's face here, because we're going to bring this up later on in this issue to show the difference between really good-looking art and not very good-looking art, which is sad for me to say, because I've actually really liked some of the artwork in these issues, but very end of the issue, Damien's face just looks off, like he just, had an allergic reaction to something. I don't know what, but there's something up with his face. So yes, this is set right after the previous issue. Damien is lying down uncomfortably. He got the shit beaten out of him by Red Hood, who he pretty much threatened to, kill him if him and his teammates, went after him. And some considerable amount of time has passed since the previous issue. I just feel like this one's okay, this is set. A bunch of stuff happened in between. Oh, wait, what's going on? So yes, Djinn is there trying to comfort him. He's like, get away from me. Blah, 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 blah. You kind of get the deal. He doesn't want anybody to help heal him. She's like, Robin, you require medical attention. And I can heal you, but you have to open up to me. So it just feels like they're, trying to find an excuse to get him to open up to her. And, this is, the only real means to do so. And her magic is based on trust right here, to where she can't fully heal him unless he, trusts in her and opens up to her. So that's one thing. In this issue, of course, we know Damian Wayne. He doesn't really open up to anybody. And, he just, he doesn't really open up to anybody. So we got him talking with Djinn, and then we have this stuff going on here with Red Arrow and Crush. This stuff isn't really doing much for me. She's just really angry and jealous about, ooh, Robin's with Djinn. Got anything to do with Robin vanishing together for the last couple of days? You mean to tell me she hasn't gone to check on him, or anybody has gone to see what's going on? why I really don't get why they're not really interacting so much. Like, you'd think that Red Arrow, of all people, would go to see, okay, what the hell is going on here, Damian? You know what I mean? And then, yeah, so she talks to her. She's like, look, I got an outlet for you. And this outlet is birdies. Birds, 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 birds. It reminds me kind of the Team 4-star bit where he's like, I like the birds. So, yeah, we got that going on here. It's kind of okay. Kid Flash meets Billy, or, you know, Roundhouse's mom. This stuff here, I didn't really care for this too much. The dialogue is just like, oh, so you like Oprah. Blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, Roundhouse is just like, just because he's like, doesn't mean like Oprah, you like Jackie Chan. Yeah, so this bit here I could have done without. Just wasn't really anything too interesting happening in this bit right here. But the most interesting part of this issue is, since Robin won't trust in Djinn, she has to tell him her backstory. And her backstory is the most interesting part of it. It's the best part of the issue, because we get to find out why she is the way she is, why she doesn't want to tell anybody her secrets. I kind of figured it out, like, not to, like, exactly this way, but I kind of figured it would be something along the lines of this, something very dark, very tragic. She was forced to do something against her will. And we come to find out that she has a brother, you know, 4,000 years ago, which still makes me wonder why she's considered a teenager, because she's 4,000 years old, and she's having feelings for some of these teenagers. I don't know about you, but that's, you know, she's would be an adult, but then you got to look from a biological sense, too. And she's not human, she's a genie. I guess biologically she's still a teenager. I don't know. I gotta kind of accept that if you want to move forward with something else that they're doing here, because the age gap between her and everyone else is just absolutely substantial. It's kind of insane how much there is. But anyway, so we come to meet her brother, Elias, who's this very powerful Djinn, and then they came to find out years ago that their whole purpose is to be controlled, and they don't like that. And then they come to find this thing called the Stone of Souls, which was, I guess, will free them or something. There's a bunch of children that were protecting it. Djinn did not want to, you know, do that. She didn't want these children being hurt. She said, come on, like, this isn't right, Elias. And Elias is like, no. Rah, 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 rah. So then he attacks, and then he forces her to do some really horrible acts, including, like, you know, the murder of children against her will. And then she was forced to do, like, terrible things for centuries based on her magic until some kid freed her. And then Crush is going after Lobo, I guess, next time. And then Kid Flash and, you know, Roundhouse are hugging it out. But anyways, so she's like, do you hate me? You know, the truth, Robin. And he's like, you know, I'm not really at liberty to say. You're not the only one who's done things that will haunt them forever. I've hurt people too. I've taken lives, but I've always had a choice. Granted, he was grown up in that environment. You can't blame yourself. Uh-oh. What's going to happen here? Come on. What I've done is unforgivable. So anyways, because of this story, he decides to open up to her, and this is where we get the issues of Robin's face. So she's like, Robin. He's like, my name is Damian Wayne. What's up with your face there? Oh, wait, here it is. So she's like, it's very nice to meet you. They're getting very close here. Uh-oh, what's going to happen? Damian Wayne. And then it's about to happen, and let me pull up my music cue. The two of them are about to. It's going to be... And here we go. Oh, never mind. Sorry, fuck. I couldn't figure out the music to play for the timing of this gag, but it kind of failed miserably. But yes, so in kind of a funny series of events, Robin gets, in essence, cock-blocked by his little beeper here. Although, like, I know a lot of people, I feel kind of, you know, there's, you know, people and them, there's some people who are fine with it, some people aren't because of the age gap. And they got other people who do weird shipping things or whatever. But I don't care. I just want a good story. So yes, we get to see that Damian gets alerted based on his mask, which is kind of strange. Like, is this just whenever a patient escapes from Arkham? I guess so. But I actually kind of like seeing inside the mask. I think that was pretty cool. So then we come to find out that Deathstroke escapes Arkham. So, like, I guess when he sees things, like when he's... Is it just whenever Damian's just walking, all of a sudden it goes, beep, 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 Deathstroke escapes Arkham? So, you know, if he would have just turned off his mask, things could have been different, but I don't know. Does he charge this thing? Is it solar powered? I don't know, but I think the mask thing was kind of cool. And his face is fine looking here, but I tell you what, like, his face right here just, I don't know. It looks, his face looks off. It looks kind of like Eddie Redmayne a bit. Well, I'm sorry, Eddie Redmayne, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, but his face, it looks like he had an allergic reaction to something. And I don't know what's going up with the art here. The Djinn art's fine, but I don't know what they did with Damian's face. It just looks off. Compared to, you know, especially this detective cover right here. Assuming it'll let me load this thing. Come on, you son of a bitch. Load. There we go. Look at the difference. Big difference right here. Like his face looks like that there, and then you have his other thing looking like that there. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But overall, speaking of this issue, I don't know. Like I appreciated the downtime. I liked learning a bit more about Djinn's backstory. The stuff with the other Titans just really wasn't all that interesting. It wasn't really doing anything for me. There's definitely still more of that, you know, love square going on here. Kid Flash is kind of pushed to the side here. Roundhouse is pushed to the side here. I'm not really the biggest Roundhouse fan, as I think I've made that pretty clear. Like, I tried. He's just not been doing anything for me. And now we got this Deathstroke arc going on next time. And they say the final confrontation. I looked at some of the solicitations. Apparently something bad's going to happen. And if they have Damian kill Deathstroke, then all these years of character development are just flushed right down the window. Or flushed right down the toilet. What the fuck would I say, window? And that'd be a huge disappointment, especially if you follow the character, if you're a fan, and so on and so forth. So, yes, I'm very, you know, cautious about what's going to happen next with this Deathstroke arc, because they got Christopher Priest co-writing it, whose Deathstroke run, for the most part, has been actually pretty good, except the stuff that involves Damian. Well, I mean, the early stuff was okay. That was fine. But when you get to the Lazarus contract stuff he worked on, and then you got to the Deathstroke versus Batman thing, which was a terrible, terrible, terrible storyline. You had to try and, like, you know, take away this, oh, I'm your daddy thing, which turned into a Dunmari fiasco. It was very, like, all over the place. So I'm very cautious about what they're going to do with this. I don't know if they really care about all this character development that's going on, if they're going to try and regress him or do something bad with that. Because, you know, we just had, you know, years of issues where, you know, he's supposed to overcome all this stuff, and then they regress him and go back to doing more sadistic things, which I can't stand. I hate character regression with a passion. I think it's really stupid. It devolves the purpose, because why read all this stuff if you're just going to throw it out the window like that? You know, if you want to do something like this, I'd rather have like an Elseworlds take or something like that. It would be, you know, more freedom to do whatever you want. But yes, I'm pulling for you, Damian, but it's just, I don't feel like DC is. They always want to just, you know, regress you back, you know, push you back more and more, and, you know, that way they can do the whole cycle over again. You know, let's do the redemption arc, let's do this again, and then let's reset it again. It's just like an endless, continuous cycle. You can never just push past it. So I guess I'm hopeful for that after this Deathstroke arc, but we'll see what happens from there, and so on and so forth. But overall, I do think this issue was better than the annual. I appreciated some downtime, some much needed, you know, characters opening up. It could have been a little bit more emotional if Damian would have actually, you know, shed some tears. But, you know, she told him his backstory, and, you know, they caused him to open up. They were ready to go smoochy, but nothing really happened from there. So I'm curious if they're actually going to go through with it, or, you know, continue this, you know, teasing. Because, like, that Deathstroke alarm had to go off exactly at that moment. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like in the last issue where it was just like, oh, she just happened to be there at that exact time, so we can, you know, somehow have that moment where, you know, Crush is very jealous of Djinn. So there's that. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this review. I gotta hurry up and get to work. So I'll talk to y'all later. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this issue of Teen Titans. I look forward to hearing it, and stay tuned, because next month we're going to cover the Deathstroke issues, and we're going to cover Teen Titans, because, you know, it's a crossover, and I feel like talking about it. Like, I feel like I got Deathstroke. That'll be the next, you know, Teen Titans crossover issue thing. So we'll see what happens from there. Maybe I should talk about, like, the previous Deathstroke issues in another video, because, like, I own them all, like, through digitally. But yeah, so all right, that's gonna wrap it up. I'll see y'all next time. Take care now. Bye then. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you all in the next Teen Titans review. Do 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 do.